Motherhood is oftentimes sitting in your car because that's the only time you know you're going to have by yourself from everybody and everything in your life. And it ain't even always about being productive and doing anything for that child. Sometimes it's about doing something for yourself because remember, you had a mama and now you got to be a mama. And imagine how many things you needed your mama for, right? And sometimes I sit in the car and I think about how many ways Madison's going to need me in the future. And honestly, it's overwhelming because I want to be there for her every time that she needed me. But I also think about all the times that, my mama wasn't there because she couldn't be. My mama wasn't there because she didn't know I needed her to be. My mama wasn't there because she just wasn't there. Like maybe she wasn't in a position to realize that that was a necessity to even be present. Circumstances prevent people from being present. Oftentimes, it is the way someone has been raised that prevents them from being present. Sometimes it's less about any of that and just about the fact that sometimes God is going to have you isolated and by yourself and you just got to figure it out. For me personally, because I'm adopted, I also feel like some of this is very different because if you haven't been adopted and you don't know your origin, like your foundation, your biological family, sometimes you go through things that people don't really understand unless they're in their shoes. And so as a mom, not knowing my biological mom, but having an amazing relationship with my adopted mom, it is very important to me that I am present for Madison in every way possible. And so oftentimes these moments to just sit in my car and collect my thoughts, process my thoughts, organize my thoughts, and sometimes not even think, just exist. They're therapeutic for me because as an only child, I enjoy solitude. And as a mama, you don't get a lot of solitude till that baby go to bed. So I empower you as a mama to find that thing that helps your mind roam, that gives you the space to process things, that gives you the space to also be intentional about how you intend to show up for that kid and how you intend to just show up in the world in general, or even how you want to right the wrongs of how you were raised. It doesn't mean that our parents are bad parents. It doesn't mean that our mom is a bad mom. It just means that they did what they were aware that they needed to do. You can only do what you know to do. If you don't know, then you're not really being deemed guilty of not doing something, at least not in my book. And so I go through this process or this journey of motherhood, and on one end it might sound like, or maybe even look like, I'm criticizing my mom and what she did. No, I'm analyzing my experience, identifying the things that I love, appreciate, and value, and then also identifying the things that didn't make me feel so good, that I didn't enjoy so much, that I wish would have been done differently, and kind of go through life being intentional about trying to do them differently. Now, in addition to that, I think that once Madison is in a position to communicate, I'll give her the floor. So I can understand, what do you like, what don't you like, what do you enjoy, how does it make you feel? Because I think we get so caught up in all these things about how we feel, what makes us feel good, what we enjoy, and we don't realize that it's a whole nother person that's a part of this experience, and they have the option to be miserable if that's not something they enjoy, or to enjoy it, to dislike it, to want different. And I think that's where relationship development actually starts, with your family and your household. And I want to do something different about that.